Hi everyone, it is Carlin here at May Blossom Design, and today is just a quick and easy video. I'm going to be showing you how I make my mushroom bell ornaments. Now, when I did my market just a few weeks ago, these sold out almost immediately, along with the mini mugs. So if you haven't seen the mini mugs, go back to last week's video because that's how I made those. Now I'm going to show you how to make these mushroom bells so that you can get them out for your holiday tree or your Christmas tree or whatever you call it. And if you don't use that, you can use it as a little wind chime because they're just super cute. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make the mushroom bell ornaments. All right, so we're going to throw these off the hump. Now, my mini mug video that I mentioned, I did those on the All Dear mini wheel. So I'm sure that you probably could do these on a mini wheel, but I throw these like a little bowl kind of. And if you've ever seen me do a kiln opening where I have like my little experiment dishes, these are kind of the same thing, just with a little bit different. So anyway, you get your hump centered, and these are a little bit smaller, I think, than you would think. Like, they're only about 2 inches across, so they're pretty tiny. So then you just drill down a little bit, and I do pull it open a bit. Then I slow down my wheel. Pull up my walls. Always remember to compress your rim when you're throwing these. And also when you open your form, to compress your base. I know it sounds kind of silly because you're throwing off the hump, so you're cutting it off. But in all honesty, it helps create that shape properly, and you can really judge where your base is if you can get a feel for inside. So anyway, just keep pulling your walls. I like to keep them, I wouldn't say thick, but I don't throw these thin by any means. So once you're about, I'd say, just to double check, you're about 2¼ inches across. Then I add just a little bit of water, and then you start to shape your piece. So I pull it out at the base and then round it out kind of into itself. So you can see that shape all of a sudden just turned kind of into a mushroom. And then compress your rim. And then remove any water that you have in there. So then I like to take a wooden tool. I use wooden tools lots because I find they just work great. So then I just cut into the bottom. Take my wire tool and pull off the base. And because I left enough room, you should have enough to take it off. And then I will bring you back for how we trim them, because honestly, that's how simple they are. They're super simple. Okay, so this is the second part to the mushrooms. So you do this while the top is drying. So all you need is a piece of clay, just a little lump of clay. Now, you don't want to make it super large, otherwise it will be too heavy for the tree. So keep that in mind. But all you do is you just take a piece of clay. I just roll it into however long you want it, really. You can make it to however long you want. But I don't like to make them super long because, like I said, it just makes it a little bit too heavy for the tree. So because I'm making a mushroom, I wanted the stem to be a little bit textured. I didn't, pardon me, I didn't want to have just a plain stem. So all I'm doing, I'm not making it look perfect because I don't need it to look perfect. Just like that. That's all I'm doing. Then I'm using a wooden tool, but you could use anything like a sculpting tool, like a wooden trimming tool. You could use pretty much whatever you want. But all I'm gonna do is just, while it's wet, throw the texture in there. And this is wet clay, like fresh from the bag. And you don't have to do the very top because that is going to be covered by the ornament, or by the mushroom top, I guess. So yeah, so I just... Okay, so there you go. Textured slime. It kind of looks like wood, but when it's all finished, the difference between the textured base and the top looks really nice. But if you do want to, you can leave these perfectly smooth. You can smooth them out, no problem. So then I just take these, which are it's high fire wire. I'll link them down in the description below. But all they are just little U-shaped hooks or things. And all you do, put them into your clay. So then I let this dry just like this. Now, because it's a full thing, like there's no air in between, you just have to make sure it's really dry before you throw it in the kiln. And then you can single fire this to cone 6 or whatever cone your clay is. So yeah, that's the stem. That's the second part. Now let's get to trimming the tops and we'll show you how to finish your mushroom. They're still a little bit wet, but I'm just gonna trim them. Like I said, these are a super easy project and they're super quick. So I like the suction method. Now you can do this however you like, but this is how I like to trim. So then I just take my tool. This is a Kemper 8. Kemper number 8, I think. And honestly, I just trim it till it's round. If you don't have one of these trimmy spinny tools, they're wonderful. I will link them down in the description below, but honestly, they're great for holding your piece in place while you're trimming. Like I said, these are a little bit wet still. A little bit wetter than I probably would normally trim at, but it still works. So basically, all you want to do is just round it out. And you can use a bigger trimming tool as well. Sometimes it just helps get larger pieces off or makes it a little bit quicker. And I do try to trim these as thinly as I can so that there isn't a whole bunch of bulk, because if there's too much bulk, then it's really heavy on your tree. So like I said, I do try to trim as much as I can. And here's another little tip. because I'm going to be punching a hole in the top of this, I do leave a little mark so that I can tell exactly where center is. Okay, so I am very thin. Okay, so now I just take a plastic rib. You don't have to do this step, but it just creates a really nice smooth surface for you to glaze on. And then if you need to sponge anything, give it a sponge, and that's it. That is trimming. Talked about these before. They work great. They're like open-ended punch tools. Oh, they're not great. They come in like a set of 5 or 6. And all you're gonna do, because you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, but there's right there. You can see right where the middle is. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna find the hole for the size that you want. Because these essentially like cut through your piece. They make it really easy to make a little hole. Then just give it a little cleanup so that it doesn't like cut your string. And there's your mushroom top. It's as simple as that. Mushroom top and mushroom bottom. Super simple, super easy. Then all you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna take whatever string you're using after you've fired and glazed them. And I like to do a double knot on here. I did show how to do this in my vlog, but yeah, just tie a string and then put the string through and it should dingle dangle in there. That's how you make the mushrooms. My hair is just absolutely crazy today. But yeah, that is a super simple bell mushroom tutorial. Yeah, it's really simple. I will say, when I do glaze these, I do glaze the inside. I glaze the inside of these and the outside, and I just leave a thin little rim on that, or thin little edge on the bottom. And it just makes it look really finished because the inside looks finished as well as the outside. And I leave this as raw clay. I don't glaze this at all. You could most definitely put like, you could put like an iron wash or like something like that. And it could be really, that could be really fun. If you put like an iron wash or something on here, it definitely could work really well. But yeah, I just use like a jute string to keep with the like earthy feel of a mushroom. And yeah, it's really fun. It's quick, it's easy, and yeah, that's how you make a mushroom bell. So if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. I will answer everything as best I can. And like always, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone. So as you can see, I have these little mushrooms. So I have 6 of them. And these are the little bases that I made. Sorry, they sound really yucky. So some are bigger, but I do have some bigger pieces. So essentially, all they're gonna do is go, I'm just gonna tie onto here and they're gonna go in here and then they're gonna dingle dangle. So I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. Okay, so you start with the base first. In order to make it dingle dangle properly, you kind of have to make it so that this kind of floats above this hole here. You do have to do 2 knots, not just 1 because it's not big enough. So I do 2 knots. So 2 knots just like that. And then you put your string through and it should sit in there. See? And then you can just leave it just like that and it'll dingle dangle. So I always leave myself more than enough room because I do like to do 2 knots. And there we go.